So right here, we're going to talk about a very popular AP exam question because in this question involves so many things. In this case, we call it generic derivative, which is derivative in its own way. They don't give you a function, they give you a graph, and you have to figure out what's going on. And so it's a lot of time it's very difficult for a student to grasp. But let's look at this question. They say h of x is represent h of x is represent f of g of x. Does that make sense? Then they say they want an h prime of 1. So that means I need to take a derivative of this. Does that make sense? So what is the derivative of this? Well, derivative is just like the trig chain rule is the outside derivative times derivative of the inside. Does that make sense? And they want a 1, so that means h prime of 1 means f prime of g of 1 times g prime of 1. Now what's nice thing is, what is g of 1? Well, g of 1 is you're going to go to the g functions. G functions looks like this. And you're going to go to 1. And you're going to go to here. You're going to say that is value of, I believe that's a 4. So that's equal to f prime of 4 times g of 1. What is f prime of 4? Well, f prime of 4, that means when x is equal to 4. And a prime means slope. So prime, so something let's say f prime of 4. What is f prime of 4? That means when x equal to 4, what is the slope? Because what does that mean? Does that make sense? So you're going to go to the 4, and you're going to say that's g function, that's f function. What is the slope here? It's go down 1, right 1, right? So it's negative 1. So therefore it's negative 1 times g prime of 1. Well, I'm going to go to 1. And I'm going to look at what is slope here. What is slope here? Negative 1/2. So my slope, my graph is going to be 1/2. You're going to do 103b now. Now I can easily ask you something like even harder. I can ask you square root of f of x, right? So sometimes, just so for example, if I will say h of x is equal to square root f of x, then that's still a chain rule. What's the implicit derivative here? What is the generic derivative here? If I take an h prime of x here, if I says it's the square root of f of x, it'll be what? What is the h prime?
Wouldn't it be 1/2 times the f of x power negative 1/2 times f prime, I think?
Yep, there's still a generic derivative. So, do I give a function? No. I give a function as a function f of x and g of x and square root f of x. Can I do square root of f of x times g of x? Yeah. That's going to be product and chain. It's going to be pretty messy, but yeah, it can be done. So I can ask you different kind of value in this situation. Probably I'll ask you something like, can I ask you h prime of negative 1? Yeah, I can ask you that as well. So, so today's question, you're going to have a lot of generic formats, and you have to figure out. Okay, so you're going to do 103b, 104a, 104b before